Alright, we're back. Let's see what happened with this. How many turns ago was this?
Even though the future seems far away.
Just one. I don't think I'm gonna change policies. If it's causing that much lag right now, it's not instrumental to anything we're doing here. So, oh, let's pick up military tactics. Gotta get those spearmen. Pikemen, I guess. Alright. I'm not going to defend against religion anymore. I just can't be asked to bother. I can't be bothered with it. No point. Makes no difference if they convert that city or not. The only city it matters that they convert is this one, so. Because it will lose production bonuses. Gets in the way of hitting next turn faster. Oh, they're chasing me down though to attack this city. Assholes.
Strategy requires sports do not.
Maybe in the end game it would be better to switch to external trade routes, drop the food, and get the a lot of hammers. It looks like that you get boosted from that, but didn't know. It's one tanky apostle. Yeah, I seriously feel like mine are getting weaker throughout the eras. Oh man.
The single biggest problem.
How close are we to the next great person? About to trigger this one. Shit, wrong unit. So how much more? We're at 7 amenities. What's that in terms of production boost? We're ecstatic for 10% non-food yield, so 10% production. Alright, let's keep running these logistics. What's the next great person? 100% production towards space race projects. But we're going to be at 0 of that, but it's 1700. The problem is we're going to be finished space race before that actually applies. Okay, so it looks like they're kind of roughly in order of when they're going to be available. In other words, what I'm trying to say is it looks like based on how long they think it's going to take for the game to end, it doesn't look like they show up in that order maybe. So, like we weren't getting access to space race ones in earlier eras. Maybe it's era specific, or maybe it's turn specific, or maybe it's based on how many other great people have been taken. If it's based on how many other great people have been taken, if the AI is on a low difficulty level like right now, perhaps what happens is basically the better late game ones aren't appearing because the AI isn't taking as many of the earlier ones as they ought to be. Alright, more of these guys, huh? I'm so glad we didn't continue the island game. This would have taken like 500 turns to do this on that map where we were. I would say at least. We were so far away from it in the other game. Yeah, we have to get 1700 points for this guy. I don't think even with all of our cities completing these industrial zone logistics quests, we're going to make it before other stuff happens. I should double check. We're getting any? We're not getting. If we're not getting production anywhere, we ought to be. We are everywhere that we can. So I really don't need envoys for anything. Oops. Thing is, I don't know how you could do this faster. So, like, let's say you got your science up even higher. You know, let's say you went 15 cities and there's not a per city reduction in science, which there probably is. But let's say there wasn't, right? Let's say the science costs don't increase as you settle more cities, and we just spammed a bunch of cities. We're still not going to get this any faster because this part is centralized production, this last part here. It's just about how fast can you build these stupid parts. I mean, I guess if your science was incredible, you could build all 3 parts simultaneously, but even that like doesn't seem that realistic because these two, no, they're all at the same tier, but there's no way you're going to hit all 3 of these techs at the same time. You just have to have like completed the entire tree before you even have the production available, but that doesn't seem... no, I think it's... I just think this is always going to be a bottleneck here like this. We'll see. I guess we're only doing this for the first time. Maybe we don't know, but... not much going on here. 481. That's the merchant. What do we have for this one? 419 at the engineer. We need 1700. It's gonna be a while. Okay, the second to last part is finishing in the capital this turn. Awesome. 1 part left. Then we have. I don't think we have to move it because it looks like it launches from the district. I guess we go have a look at everyone else's victory progress. They're not doing so good with the religions. I have 14, so I'm actually leading in that.
In life, may you proceed with balance.
Does anyone have 2? That's all just military strength. And it's gotta be, it's all the tourism, 54 tourism. We could go look at the tourism screen, that would be kind of interesting. 158 total for me, but everybody else requires 363. It looks like because of my raw tourism. I don't even know where I get that tourism from. Alright. Pick future tech. You can repeat it, it looks like, once everything else is done. Oh, trader. No, I want to run the trader. Alright. 3 turns. Should have actually moved it to Cologne and sent it from there. How close are we to the great person? Nowhere near close enough. Less than halfway.
Which of all my important nothings shall I tell you?
Next turn. Borders never expanded to that oil or that uranium. Actually, I'm not even sure they've ever expanded anywhere 4 tiles out. So maybe they do stop growing, unlike in Civ 5. Well, Civ 5 they grow out to 5 tiles. You couldn't purchase past 3. I wonder if they just don't keep growing in this one or not. Okay, this should be GG here, if we're doing everything right.
Remember that much as our ancestors did ages ago.
Yes. Okay. So space race now.
In the human brain.
Some stuff to play around with in here if we wanted to. Culture per turn. I'm kind of there's the science per turn. That's me. What else do we want to look at? Total cities founded. So they did eventually found one more city than us, but not till much later. Anyways, guys, hope you enjoyed it. Again, this was our first attempt, not our first attempt, our first science victory in Civilization 6 with the space race victory. Playing as Germany. Germany had some really cool bonuses for us this game that did some really good work. The extra districts were really nice, as well as the, well, military policy wasn't that great, but I didn't even know there was a military policy. But yeah, it seemed to be pretty strong wide. I think we're going to try next game as well, another wide game. Seemed to be my preferred. I actually preferred that quite a bit to the last game in terms of the things I need to do with my cities. And it's getting some sense of how many cities can you support easily. And that was fine. This game had better happiness from amenities and better growth from housing the entire game than last game did. Last game we were only on 3 cities. So what I do need to check next time is when I settle cities if the cost of science and culture goes up, because that would be a very big deciding point in whether or not you want to settle more cities. Because in general, just settling cities, you know, it gives you the easier growth, because the growth doesn't go. The growth goes up. It gets more and more expensive per population point. And if some of your science is just based on population, and most of the science in this game seems to be per building, which means per city, then wide strategies should actually be better than less wide strategies. All things equal. So we'll have to test that in the next couple games and get a sense of it. I think we're starting to get a pretty good handle on how most of the mechanics in this game work. So hopefully you guys are enjoying learning with me. And if you are, hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you all soon. Cheers. Filthy out.